I stood up right here and I seen a shadow.
For a moment, you were just in awe because it was just so beautiful.
This is Ally Paranormal's investigation files. Are continuing looking into local Michigan hauntings. We are presently at the Maple River Cemetery and the Community of Christ Church in Owasso, where we spent a night investigating the claims of a couple of the parishioners about possible voices and moving objects. There are also claims of doors opening on their own and a shadowy figure in the church. How long has the church been around?
The building was built in 1868. We started meeting here in 1962. We obtained ownership of the church in 1979.
Okay, so what are some of the experiences that you've had here?
Opening and shutting of doors, people talking, the bell ringing on its own.
Do you have any kind of idea who you think might be here?
Well, I think I know one, yeah. Roy. The other one, I'm not sure. But when you get a building that's dated back that far, you never know.
And who was Roy?
He was a friend of mine.
And when did he pass?
October 28th of 1983.
Okay. Are there any parts of the building that really bother you?
The sanctuary at nighttime.
Okay.
In the pantry.
Okay.
We went upstairs, we heard a few sounds up on the balcony, a couple of little ticks and stuff behind us. And then we were down in the actual church part, sitting on the pews. We started singing church hymns, Jesus Loves Me, Amazing Grace. Yeah. We were getting some shuffles. Hair started standing on her end. I heard something on the stage, left side, right over by the American flag.
I heard a possible click noise over towards the right side by the baptismal area. And while we were leaving to go downstairs, I heard somebody go, and it wasn't me or my mom.
I also had what twice.
Yep, what
behind
twice.
your head. We heard what twice.
Yep.
We thought we heard what at least, put it that way.
May have.
Okay, since I've gotten here, up in the balcony, I felt a dizzy feeling. And then when I went in for my EVP session, I had a sharp pain go straight through my chest, through my midsection. And I kept having a feeling of vertigo, even though I was sitting down, and I don't usually feel like that. Yeah, and it kept coming in flashes. It wasn't like constant, and I don't usually do that. If my fear of heights usually is constant, but I wasn't scared of the actual height, which is weird. It wasn't the height. The height wasn't bothering me, but I still felt the fear, and I don't know why.
sitting downstairs in the playroom, it felt like a child was grabbing on my leg, almost like if they were trying to sit on my lap by propping themselves up, picking themselves up, and crawling on my legs to sit down on top of my legs, like if they wanted me to rock them or something.
There's also a story about a cursed tree, where anyone who enters the circle around it and touches it will become trapped and unable to move. I entered the cemetery during the investigation to see if the stories were true.
The supposed evil tree, satanic tree if you will, whatever you want to call it, it's just a tree. It's only what you make it out to be. My hand is on the tree fully. I am within the circle. Nothing is occurring. Sometimes kids build up these stories in their heads and psychosomatic. They start believing everything is true. Half the things about anything having to do with paranormal is based on belief. How strong you believe that something is a ghost or a haunting or a happening. The more you believe it, the more realistic it seems to you. So of course anything could be a ghost.
Were you a pastor here? Was that you? Were you a pastor here? Was that you? I really hope you said a prayer for me. It was like a deep, it was like a deep male voice, but I couldn't understand it. I really hope you said a prayer for me. It was like a deep, it was like a deep male voice, but I couldn't understand it. Is there a child that plays here? Is there a child that plays here? Anybody in here? Anybody in here?
I heard some of our team members sing Amazing Grace for you. Were you singing along? I heard some of our team members sing Amazing Grace for you. Were you singing along?
There were many dust particles visible in our IR cameras. One did catch our attention as it went against the flow of air in the room. It is seen performing a U-turn in midair. It's difficult to gauge distance, but it's hard to ignore. We cannot say for sure that this is paranormal, but we have listed this anomaly as unexplained.
We do have a few pieces of audio. Some smaller things. There's some things in here that happened when none of us were even in here.
Really?
And then there's a couple what sound like responses to questions. Just little things like yes or no.
Yeah.
Was that you?
If you hear anything on this one, this is where they hear something in there.
I really hope you said a prayer for me. It was like a deep, it was like a deep male voice, but I couldn't understand it.
Can you rewind that?
Like right before she says that she heard it. I'm not sure if that's what it was that she was hearing, but it sounds like there could be something.
Yeah,
something in that.
it's very faint, but
Is there a child who's living here?
Yes, there was a child.
it sounded like a breath or something, breathing. What it sounded like to me. Right there. I'm not sure if it's a breath or if it, or what it is,
Well,
but
Speaking of the breaths, we actually have two. One was down here in the nursery, and these are the ones when nobody is in here. This is one of them. That's one that's completely
Yeah,
empty.
I heard that.
And this one was up in the sanctuary. No one is in there.
What is it though? I mean, to me it sounds like a breath, but it
We can't be sure who's still in the church. Is it a friend or just a memory? But whatever's there will not let anyone forget.
If you or someone you know is in need of our free services, or to review more of our evidence, visit us today at allyparanormal.com.